Well, I've got my next part rigged up on here, and oh my god, the stringing is awful. I am not having good luck with the 3D printer. I don't even think this is usable, not just because of how bad this warped, but I can't get the supports off without damaging the plastic. That's not really what we're here for. What we're here for is finding out if I can put the motor that's on the on the four-wheeler on the mud train. See, I'm thinking of scrapping the four-wheeler entirely, using the frame as angle iron, pulling the transmission for another project, perhaps putting the front axle in dinky, because I have it rigged up, but it's a pretty solid front axle. I haven't broken anything on it, which is more than what I could say for dinky. And the frame's basically angle iron, the body is destroyed, steering's good, dinky needs steering, so let's see if this will work. I got 1.28 inches coming off the crank. Boy, this thing's gotten rusty. I'm going to use some PB Blaster to get rid of that. Let's see how she goes on the mud train. I don't have direct access to the part of the crank I need. Interesting. The Kohler shaft is bigger. I didn't see that coming. Well, that kind of sucks and ruins my plans. Now I'm sitting here trying to think, how do I couple these two together? It actually should be the same shaft size on both sides. And that's that looks like 1/4 inch difference right there. So, so the crank is 1 inch on here and it's 1 1/4 inch on the other machine. Which is the opposite way that's convenient, because I could shim it up the other way around. How do I get a big crank to fit on a small shaft? See, I don't really got any money right now. This thing has a problem with the exhaust valve, and it has pretty much a destroyed carburetor. It would take money to get this running, and the motor over there runs. So, maybe wait a minute. I was thinking maybe a universal joint, a larger shaft, but I think there's a bit of an adapter that comes off over here. Maybe I need to get this shaft off right here and measure the inner diameter of the shaft. If I'm lucky, there's an adapter here, and this is 1 1/4 over here, which I probably could tell by measuring the shaft coming out the back side of the tractor, which feels like 1 inch. No, that's 3/4 inch. Yeah, damn it. How do I make this work? I think I need to get this machine towed over to where all the fun's happening, so it's easier to work on. Not exactly convenient to lug all my tools all the way out to the far side of the yard. Alright, I had the neighbor help me tow this over, and it's getting late, so I'm not sure if I'm really going to pull this engine off, but it's at least over in the working area now. So I sat over here for about 10 minutes, maybe 15, and just really started thinking about it, and it does look like this comes off. If this comes off, there should be enough room between there and there that I might be able to take one hub and weld to another. And I've already got one hub over there. Yeah. Actually, I won't be able to do it. That's above my metal thickness I can weld. Unless they have some kind of pipe or something going between them. But worst comes to worst, I can get Jake to do it. I think he's got sticks. When I'm coming up with a new system for mounting the motor, I think I need to make it where I can actually access the bolts. Well, I got this thing off, which is easier said than done. Forgot how heavy this monster was. Let's measure that inner diameter real quick. One inch. Well, we at least achieved the goal of getting the motor out. It's late. I'm gonna get a shower and get ready for bed. And by shower, I mean a bath, because I don't actually have a shower. I have a clawfoot tub with no shower. Someday. Someday. It is a bright night tonight. I actually was checking to make sure the sun wasn't coming up. Well, it looks like we're going to be working on the mud train today. Because, should be at work right now, but my one coworker called off sick with the booga flu. And I live in a different county than I work. And I'm broke till payday, which is tomorrow. That ain't enough gas to get all the way to State College. There's enough gas to get me to the local store, though. See, basically used any gas at all. And this was $4. I got me some mozzarella sticks and some marinara sauce from a local place within easy tractoring distance of my house. I wouldn't be afraid to take the damn Sears Suburban there with its stock pulleys. But it was the best marinara sauce I've had in a long time, I can tell you that much. I wish YouTube had a tasting feature because this is awesome. Living in a county doesn't have emissions. I get to see cool cars going down the road pretty often. Alright, one more thing. I wanted to have a can of root beer with me, but I wanted to be able to lay it down without bugs getting in it or knocking it over. So I emptied the honey out of this container for the most part and poured my root beer in here. And I had some honey still like stuck to the sides of it. Oh, that's a good combination. Barks root beer with some honey in it. I've done this to make things a little easier for pulling the motors and moving them around, but I'm not as strong as I used to be. I had a really hard time lifting this up and putting it over here. Well, anyways, my cat food box gasket actually seems to be holding up well. I still have good oil in here. Got everything soaking in PB Blaster, and I would start working on this thing, but the sun's getting hot and awful, so I better do a run to the post office I needed to do today, so hopefully the sun's a little less hot when I get back. All the clouds went away. So I was gonna take Dinky to the post office, but I forgot. Oh, I guess I should have clarified, Black Bear's battery's dead. I have rednecked this thing up in so many ways. There's actually a washer welded there holding that on, which was pretty effective for the steering. It's all rigged. It's time to say goodbye. It's time for the power button to work on the camera. Hey, to give you an idea how crazy the gear reduction is on the 2300, I can do this with my hand and I feel like no resistance. Rocky DA tip of the day. Weld over the little rivets on your swivel sockets and they'll last way longer. This is a cheap Walmart socket and I've had it for years. They don't last that long if you use them on an impact and you don't weld those. You know, back in the day, my coworkers always referred to this as a Mad Max machine. Now, I understand that's a movie, but I've never seen it, so I don't know how close the representation is. They started calling that after I made this dumpster fire. And this will be fun to take off. Looks like I have to go under here with a wrench. Got to get the body off to get the motor off. I hope the impact and swivel socket changes my life, because this wrench was cut and welded specifically to install this motor, because there was a tight space I couldn't get the wrench and I had to cut the ass of it off to get it in there. Hopefully it goes different this time. Two things. Thing one, I just heard somebody going down there blaring the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air intro scene. Thing two, you know, I always feel terrible when people like give me Christmas gifts and shit. Can't somebody at least give me a gift that would make me feel terrible, but I'd use it? Like, oh my god, a ratcheting wrench that would be so nice for this! I turned you off camera. Camera, I pushed a button pretty hard. Really? Turn off. You know, I'm sitting here thinking, maybe this machine doesn't have to die. I don't know if that comes off, but if I can move the brake to the other side of the transmission, but then the clutch has to move too. Because, you know, having the motor massively offset, I could do that with a little one, but it wouldn't have to be offset if I just had the transmission driving from the other side. Because basically this thing has two input shafts, and you can put a brake on one and you can drive from the other. But if the input shaft is on that side, how Ford did it, you need a gear reversing box to use a normal rotation engine. Do they make an engine that can run backwards? Then again, what am I doing? There's not much left here to save. I mean, what do we got? Runner boards, seat mount's broken pretty bad. I'd have to fix that up. All the body panels are destroyed. All the cast aluminum bits are broke. There's not a lot left of this machine. Almost nothing's original other than the rear end and the frame and the runner boards. There definitely is enough machine here to save. I just don't know if there's enough machine here to save that it's worth all the work it would take. I mean, this thing isn't the badass machine it used to be, that's for sure. Also, something else that's annoying about a machine like this being horizontal, there's a bit of a power divide anymore. Nothing high power is really horizontal anymore. As far as the small engine stuff goes, all the common high-powered things are vertical shaft. So you just can't really find the big 2-cylinders in horizontal for cheap very often, because they're just not available like they are in vertical. Oh, well, these two pipes together? Alright, that one's got to come off too then. Alright, I got the body off. I got one more bolt in here to get. Two. Oh, I know. I just gotta get that bolt and the plate comes off, then I can get the other two underneath. This gas pedal still works, like all of it. Cable and everything. Looks like Drifty is gonna get a new throttle cable because it broke forever ago. Alright. That phase is complete, and Jake just got my battery redone, so we're gonna give her a test. Alright, once I get these two out, we're rocking. Also, using a socket extender on a short socket with a battery extended out, and then the swivel head just got, and that wasn't, oh well. It'll just have unique airflow. I think this mounting plate weighs about 1/4 of the weight of the whole motor. This is ridiculous. Also, I wonder how hard it is to convert this motor to vertical. Because look, it's got heat sinks on here like a vertical one would have. And it's, but it's got the mounting holes like a horizontal. It's also got the bolt holes over here like a vertical would have. I'd say she's on there pretty good, considering the fact that it's bending the pulley. I'd have to say, might be in your best interest to get one of these. You're going to be messing around with this stuff for too long. Or get a roommate who has the same hobbies. Then you guys can go in on tools together you'll both use. Pounded that out mostly flat so it won't be a crazy out of balance thing. And, whew, I wish I had a motor I didn't care about. Because, I could use a 1-inch shaft right now to stick inside that thing and weld another hub or pulley onto, because that is a hole that has to have a shaft go in it. That motor's not completely dead. I don't want to start hacking the crank off of it. We'll leave you there for now. Make it easier not to lose. That's potentially our hub. Either way, it'll help me find the right shaft. Alright, so took the end of the crankshaft from a Briggs & Stratton opposing twin that was in really rough shape, no cylinders in it, rusted out, connecting rod knocked before it was even pulled apart, crankcase cover's been exposed to the water and all that for a while. So yeah, cut that off. It's about halfway in here, welded in place on the inside. Then that's welded this pulley to make a crankshaft adapter that didn't cost any money. All scrap. I was going to use this much lighter PTO thing from the John Deere, but the metal's actually a lot thinner than this, and it has that built-in keyway, which I didn't like because part of it's already chipped off. So I figured that this would be a weak, bad idea. And this crank bolt and lock washer's on here just in case this keyway decides it wants to start walking its way out. It's going to hit the very corner of this and not go any further. I mean, it might not look at it from this angle, but if you look at it, there's a slight overhang, and this is tight tolerance, so it ain't gonna pop out. I think it's gonna need some PD blaster for the final assembly, but it does look like we are golden. I think I need to figure out where everything's gonna line up. Always have some kind of bolt or something to tap on before doing something like this, so you don't dent your crank or put a small little gouge in your crank and wish you had a new crank. This is gonna be fun because I'm on a steep hill. There we go. Now I can actually, it's going to be safe and put her in first gear. Oh, I want more gear than that. It looks like I'm going to need the mounting plate and the spacers, but at least 2 of the holes line up. Unless I wanted to drill my own holes. Not that I have any good drill bits. Yeah, if I got to drill any new holes, that could be a problem. I have like one size of drill bit that's good and it's huge. He used it for doing a repair on Old Glory when part of the leaf spring broke. I had to drill a hole through the frame. Alright, so I've got it about centered and lined up where it's going to go. And we're way in front of the mounting plate. And our rear pulley's where it should be, but then again, this should be almost touching back here, so didn't think about that. She's really hanging off the front. I'll have to make a hood extension if I ever want this thing to have a body again. And okay then. Had some dinner and really thought about it. Okay, I need drill bits. Okay, so I've gone around the holes here real good at spray paint. Going around everything real good at spray paint. Not going to touch it tonight. Got the motor real good and centered. Got the mount where I want it to be. And then tomorrow I can peel it off, drill my holes, and really plan things out. If there ain't room for the bolts to stick underneath it, I'm either going to do a flush mount where the bolts are just kind of studs, always a part of the plate, and weld the plate on, or I'm going to use spacers. I'm about to go away for the weekend to work, so I'm literally going to be gone all weekend, so I guess I'm going to clean up my tools, quit, edit this video, and get it out there so you guys don't got to wait like a damn month for this to come out.